Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm very happy to see you. Sorry that I was MIA last week, but I just moved to a new apartment. And so we were moving on Friday and I didn't have time to make a new video. But one of my clients actually recommended me to share this in a YouTube video. I shared him a story about a friend of mine and he felt so moved by it that he said, Robin, you should completely make a video about it. So that's what I'm going to be telling you guys today. I want to share a story about a friend of mine who experienced something that I think completely embodies the way of recovering from anxiety, DPDR, all that stuff that we like to talk about on this channel. So I'll be sharing that with you guys in a second, but before I do so, I just want to make a quick announcement. The last 2 years, I've had a really long waiting list that's been growing and growing, and it's gotten to the point that I feel like I'm getting to a point where I might soon have to put a client stop. And because I don't want to do that, I have been thinking about ways to make an alternative, so ways to figure out how to be able to help you guys better, separate to the course that I already made, because I understand that for some people, you just really want to have that personal contact, be able to ask questions, be able to share some things every now and then. And so I was thinking about ways to do that and to create more space for that. And so I come up with a new coaching option. So now, instead of needing to be put on the waiting list for months and months at a time, I've decided to do once a week group coaching sessions where everyone who wants to can join in for a low price. So I'll be doing those sessions once a week. I'll try to select a time that works for as many time zones as possible, which is difficult. I'm going to start with one session, see how it goes. And if people are in need of more sessions, of course, I can add more group sessions to it. So basically the setup will be that I will do once a week a group session where you can join in. There will also be an extra WhatsApp group connected to the session so that you can ask questions that I will try to get back to throughout the week as well. So you'll have a bit more personal contact with me one-on-one, or not one-on-one, but I guess in the group, I'll be there and I'll be able to answer your questions. And the purpose of the coaching sessions will be that you send in your questions to me before the session and I will answer them throughout the group session so that everyone can benefit from hearing each other's questions be answered, having your questions be answered, and also being able to have contact with me personally. Because of the course that I already created and the huge amount of effort I put into making it a perfect product for you, I have decided to only allow the coaching sessions, the group sessions for people who have already done the course. This is to avoid needing to spend the whole session every time again explaining very basic things that are already explained in the course. So if you are interested in doing the course, but you've been doubting too because you also want a personal contact with me, now is the perfect time to get started because, like I said, there will now be a very easy way and also more affordable way to join in on a coaching session. So you also have that one-on-one contact with me. And for those who already have purchased the course but have been on my waiting list or have been not really wanting to be put on the waiting list because it might take too long, again, what you can do if you're interested in joining this once a week session is just send me a message through the WhatsApp link on my website. So you can just click on the link below that takes you to my website, and then there's a WhatsApp link there or a chat link there. Just send me an email or a message saying that you're interested in the group sessions. I am limiting the amount of people to join the first group because I have no idea how busy or many people will be in it yet. And I don't want it to be so many people that, of course, the value of the session is not that good for everyone. So if you're interested, let me know. I'll put you on the list for that. And then I'll be in contact with you as soon as I have the actual slot set up, how to join, how to pay, what the payment includes. There will, like I said, also be a WhatsApp group, but you'll also receive recordings of the coaching sessions so that you can look back to those whenever you need some extra refreshing or guidance. So that's that. Thank you for listening. Sorry, it's already 5 minutes in, but I just really wanted to announce this. And now I will go on to the topic of today's episode. So a friend of mine, he is very into everything to do with psychedelics, drugs, all that kind of stuff. And I was always really skeptical about that. I still am to this day. Also because of my DPDR journey, I'm more careful with that type of stuff now. But one of the stories that he talked about really made me realize how incredibly powerful our mind is, even in experiences such as anxiety or taking drugs or psychedelics, where we feel like we lose control. We actually have so much more control than we think. So the story goes as follows. He took acid, which I'm sure most of you know what it is. It's a hallucinatory drug. And during his trip, he started to really get extreme anxiety and panic. And he felt like during his trip, he was being chased by a very dark, scary monster. And so he explained how the whole trip long he was running away from this monster and he was trying to avoid it catching him. And every time he looked around in the corner of his eye, he could see this very dark, scary cloud coming up to him. And despite having experimented with drugs many times in the past, this time just felt very different for him. And he explained how he was just trying to do everything he possibly could to get rid of this monster and to try to turn it around, but he just couldn't. Acid takes like 6 hours before it runs out, so you can imagine that it was really, really terrifying. And I think he talked about being like sitting in a tent at some point. He was at a festival and he was just hiding in this tent from this monster. And suddenly something clicked for him. And he said, what would happen if I just run straight towards it? Because I am in a dream here. This isn't real. And he kind of realized like, this monster is only in my mind. It's only in my imagination, only in my subconscious. This monster exists. I'm not actually being chased. I'm not actually in danger. So what would happen if I just turn around and run straight towards it? So he did. And he walked out of his tent and he turned around and he wanted to face the darkness. And the moment he decided to do so, and the moment he decided, I'm going to see what happens if I face this monster and just go straight through it, the whole dream flipped around and his entire visuals changed. And suddenly, instead of being in this dark, weird atmosphere, he was in this beautiful, colorful world full of flowers and beautiful things. And his entire trip just completely turned around. And he said it was one of the best trips of his life afterwards. And he was actually really able to enjoy it. And I think the reason why I'm so fascinated by this story is that it's such an accurate way of representing how fear changes when we face it, when we go through it. There's a story one of my other clients sent me, or like an Instagram reel, and apparently bisons, the animal, are scared of rain. And so when they see a dark cloud coming, they actually end up running towards it because they know that the faster I go through the cloud, the faster I'm out at the other end. And if I run away from it and the clouds end up catching me, then I'm going to be stuck in it for a longer period of time. And so I guess the message with this video is that the antidote for fear and suffering and anxiety very often isn't safety or security or control. It is courage. It is bravery. It is the bravery to face your fears and go through them, and to be willing to see what happens when you come out at the other end. So many of my clients are terrified that once I start facing my fears, once I start acknowledging that I'm really struggling, once I start sitting with my emotions, they will just consume me. They will take over me. I will disappear into DPDR. I will disappear into fear. But the opposite really happens. Just like my friend thought, if I face this monster, it's going to eat me alive. And he realized, like, no, that's not going to happen. Let me see what happens if I go through. And then his whole vision changed. And drugs really do sometimes bring out what is in our subconscious. And so fear only exists in the running away of something. His fear disappeared the moment he faced what he was scared of, because he showed his brain that he's taller than whatever the thing was that he was scared of. And that's when the fear disappeared and the whole visual of his subconscious changed. And so the message I want you to take with this is that the fear you have that once you face what you're scared of, it's going to get worse, is just not true. The moment you face your fears truly from a position of bravery and courage, your whole world will change, because your emotions will change. And it doesn't mean your fear immediately will go away, but it means that you will transcend that fear and become taller than it and feel stronger than it. And I don't know, I just felt that that was such a beautiful story that I hope resonates with you guys and that you learned something from today. So I want to thank you guys for listening today to this short but very meaningful story. I am also getting back on track with recovery stories. I've been so busy that I haven't had the time to do longer interviews anymore, but I recently this week thought I really should get back into those. So I'm trying to contact a few clients that have recovered and try to make some recovery stories happen soon, so that you guys can not only hear me talk every week, because maybe it's a little boring, but also hear some other people talk. So look forward to that as well. Again, if you are interested in joining the coaching, the group coaching program once a week, just send me a message through the link on my website. Again, it's only for people who have purchased the course, like I said, to avoid over-explaining and to make sure we're all on the same page. So just keep that in mind as well. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a beautiful day, beautiful weekend. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and trusting me as your coach to guide you. And so, yeah, thanks again. I'll see you next week. Bye.